Hey there, and welcome to this video. So if you're one of my usual subscribers, don't mind this. I just want to go and talk about this a little bit on the Celsius and Voyager side. If you guys don't know what this is, and you guys just randomly clicked on this video, basically just two really big cryptocurrency, both lending and exchanges, had a chance to go and file for bankruptcy. So I kind of want to do a bit of an in-depth video, especially for those folks out there, to kind of talk about like what actual assets they have, how it's going to be going through, what potential numbers can kind of come back out to, and all that stuff as well. If you guys are one of my current subscribers too, or you guys are just engaged in the cryptocurrency community, feel free to subscribe if you guys want to. I wouldn't mind making a few more videos like this and do a little bit more case by case in the like actual proper legal proceedings too. If you guys are just randomly here, if you guys want to see some kind of crazy weird fraud and drama and just kind of crypto, I guess, drama for lack of better terms, feel free to in the background. So when it comes to this one, we have Celsius, which I'm going to be focusing on right now, which is actually where I actually currently have some money being held up to as well. So Celsius is basically a big lender in the cryptocurrency space. They basically would be like, hey, we'll give you an individual loan. You guys go give us, let's say, $50,000 in, say, Bitcoin or Ethereum. We'll go give you then, let's say, $30,000 because the assets, in theory, should be higher than what we're actually giving you. But of course, that also pertains to individual like companies. So you have these really big corporations where they'll be like, hey, we'll give you $1 billion, give us like $1.3 billion. And it kind of led to a lot of issues, same with Voyager. So with this, I kind of want to go talk about what you could be expecting to get back, how much money is going on, etc., etc. So in the actual public case files too for Celsius, on the very first day, these assets might go and change and might be different as time goes on. Mainly because we haven't had like the full-on one-to-one balance sheets. This is basically just what they kind of gave us for this one. So as of this, they had a chance to go and showcase up on July 14th, which was the filing date for bankruptcy. This is, as of right now, showing that their total assets are at $4.3 billion, and as well the total liabilities of what they owe is at $5.5 billion. Now, this will be kind of very curious numbers to go and look at and stare at right here on the screen, because it will be changing, will be fluctuating, and there also is a few like little intricate things that are maybe either giving consumers a little bit more money back, or as well, maybe the opposite, where we actually might be getting a little bit less money back. As you guys want to go through these baseline things, we're going to go through this really quickly. And this has been out for a few days. We might get more information as time goes on. So first and foremost, it starts off with Bank Cash, which is $170 million. Other, which I'll be fully honest with you guys, not really sure what the other is. That just might be more general assets because they're trying to go and sell like their custody holdings, which is basically like where they go and hold cryptocurrency and stuff. I think that was valued at around $100 million, and a few other little small serious like assets like that. They have the mining assets, which is $720 million, which is like where you go buy Bitcoin and you basically mine like at the Bitcoin miners, and then as you go and you mine, you can essentially go and get Bitcoin and sell it. So we have a lot of big mining companies, and I think they have that at $720 million. That could be right around market price if they're trying to go be honest. It could also be slightly higher than expected to if they're trying to make the numbers look a little bit nicer. It really could kind of go either or. But I'm sure it's at least bare minimum $500 million, especially with the most recent uptick when it comes to Bitcoin. We also did have $600 million in Celsius assets too as well. That's just on the Cell token. You can, in all honesty, kind of probably cut this fully out. This would still be worth a few $1,000,000 for sure, but in the day-to-day market value, there's usually around $10 to $20 million traded, give or take. And of course, as well, if you just want to instantly sell that on the market, it probably would go down to zero pretty quick. Although it's still worth something / equity in the company, it's not really worth $600 million. And also keep that in note too, is they also have Celsius liabilities, so you can also kind of basically cut that out too as well, if they're both pretty much set to zero for easy simplicity's sake. Loans. They have a $620 million loan book to a few different various companies. One big one is Equities First, which is around a $500 million loan that as of right now, Equities First has still been on top of paying. So they have still been giving out, I think, like $5 million a month, which still would take quite some time to pay off that debt, but at least that is a still ongoing process as well. There was, I think, a little bit of drama that they may have lost some of the collateral, though, which I do want to see people a little bit more focused on, mainly because there's the price point, like for $500 million. It's very hard to lose about $1 billion probably in collateral. Like there's a lot of wrong goings and weirdities when it comes to this drama. And of course, the crypto assets is at $1.7 billion. So if you guys want to go through a lot of these numbers as well from the date of filing, this will be changed and probably will be updated on their next court case filing too as well for peer assets. So this video might also even be a little bit weirder as time goes on. But with this, that does pretty much put it around like a 80% give or take returnal rate, depending on what they had at this time of filing, If you also just completely extend out the Celsius tokens on both ends, which I think you probably should, that would probably put it around a 70%. I think it was a little bit above like 70.1% as of right then. Now, it could also be a little bit lower in theory because you also have to pay for lawyers. You have to pay for the on both sides, as well as also you have to have the operations of people running the business, salaries that are still ongoing, like say for the mining capabilities. You may have to go pay like electricity costs, stuff like that. So it might be a little bit lower, and I think most realistic examples are probably around like the 60 to 70% range, depending on how the market goes, how they do the assets, etc., etc. Now, a few other little various things to note, because this is probably the most baseline, although we have not seen the full-on assets sheet, which I think will be pretty big. So there's two things we can kind of go note. Is number one, there actually was a statement over here from crypto liquidated by third parties, by Tether, which is at $0.9 billion. And this actually might be a good chance for folks to get some money back if the loan itself was not properly legally done. Because in theory, like a lot of folks are saying, that this $840 million loan may have actually been a big issue because it could have been a non-properly filed legal loan, and this could also be more roped into unsecured creditors, which would also maybe add another $840 million into the overall pool that people can go get back, which would be a really nice big asset upcharge that where a lot of folks might have a chance to get a little bit more money back. Now, that's not going to be a complete one-to-one, but once again, $840 million spread on out as the assets are that low, that pretty much does bump up the percentage of people getting money back quite a bit. Although we still would also then have to increase up the liabilities from Tether to another $840 million, but at the end of the day, that just means that Tether would lose more money and not get that full amount, and more normal creditors, unsecured creditors, would get more money back. And this is more in regards to the fact that because of them basically liquidating this stuff and doing this right before the declaration of bankruptcy, it goes to show that they could have been non-secured lenders and may have also been unsecured lenders too as well. So it's kind of been a big thing too on top of that, because a lot of folks are saying, hey, can we actually go recover this loan liquidation from our actual process for this? This was also on the official documents. You guys can see this is actually official, like Cases Strato links. Crypto liquidated by Tether right there, and they did also have the key legal questions in regards to this, or it has any claims against this too as well. Can Celsius recover customer withdrawals or loan liquidations completed in 90 days before filing as preferences? So a lot of folks have been talking about the withdrawals. That's kind of going to have to come into more information as the courts go and discuss more stuff. The loan liquidations, though, are very curious because this would specifically be there for that Tether date. As well, if you guys are curious, they are still kind of curious to see, are they entitled in crypto or just USD? Most usual bankruptcies are more based on USD, so I keep on assuming that'll be it. That'll be way better for stablecoin holders, not so good for crypto assets, although it's better than like losing everything. Even if you have crypto, you might just get the full amount of the USD value rather than, say, 80% since the markets have gone up. That's something that we'll have to find more information on as time goes on in general. Now, as well, we also do have the Zapper links, where if you guys want to go and check and see some of the overall assets they have in the actual thing itself, this is more so for Ethereum-based wallets. Now, as a reminder, since the markets have gone up, the Celsius price point has also gone extremely high at $900 million. So the net worth itself is not a full-on one-to-one, but you guys can see just off Ethereum basis around a $1.6 billion mark point. This also does not include some other various wallets, though, such as Ripple, as well as also Bitcoin wallets, although you guys can see they do have some wrapped Bitcoin. That's essentially just Bitcoin on the Ethereum market. So we do have like an okay amount of assets base, so you will get some money back off of the bankruptcy, but it just depends on a lot of the factors that the court will have to decide, such as will it be paid in USD on data filing, will it be paid in EARN, will it have to factor in other price increases, and as well how long it will go, if there's also any potential buyouts from potential companies. We even saw that Ripple itself was discussing this, and as well, we also do have other stuff such as, say, Ethereum staking, where right now they do have 150,000 Ethereum that's currently being staked for Ethereum 2.0. So we have a lot of little various things that we'll be keep on making money on. And they also will be making money on Bitcoin. They're mining around 12 Bitcoin a day. And on top of this, too, we just have a lot of assets that could still be sold. So this kind of want to give you guys the quick rundown. It does seem like, depending on some stuff, The baseline would probably be at least a 50% return. I'd probably push more to a higher, let's say around 70% if the market's also factoring well, maybe even potentially higher if it's all based on USD, especially for stablecoin users, maybe even closer to 80-85%. Or it also depends if we also do have a company such as Ripple or other big name companies that want to potentially buy out some assets. They also can maybe give a higher return to also incentivize and want random customers to go and stay. So I just want to give you guys this quick rundown on this. Subscribe if you guys want to see more crypto news and talk about this one, but I saw a lot of people missing this and discussing this, so we'll kind of see how everything keeps on playing on out throughout these next few weeks and months. If you guys want to cover more of this on the second channel, feel free to, like I said, subscribe, and I'll see you guys up later on.